So Siggy it's now in a very aggressive stage.
We finally decided that there would be no AMF involved. Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Telecom News, where we provide a recap of the recently concluded standardization meetings. In today's episode, we provide the main talking points from the recently concluded SA2 meetings that took place in February in India and in April in Malta, as well as updates from the SA Plenary meeting that took place in March in Japan. And as usual, to discuss these topics, we have the Chief Architect from Docomo Eurolabs, Malla. Hey Malla, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we have a lot of meetings to cover for today's episode. So I was thinking we can first provide updates from the SA2 meetings and then move on to the SA Plenary. And for this episode, maybe we focus mainly on the 6G topics. However, before we begin with 6G topics, I wanted to provide a quick update on 5G advanced sensing because as you remember in our last episode, we had mentioned that one of the core principles was still not concluded in 5G advanced sensing. So carrying on from the November meeting in Dallas, in February, we finally managed to reach a conclusion. And basically the principle was about whether sensing control signaling takes place via AMF or does it take place directly between sensing function and sensing entities. After a lot of technical debates and quite a few show of hands, we finally decided that there would be no AMF involvement.
Oh, I see. Then how about the normative progress?
So we also started the normative work from the February meeting and we've reached quite a good state in terms of the overall architecture and framework. But there are still quite a lot of aspects that are dependent on RAN 3's solutions. And we had sent an LS to them last year in November, and we had not received an LS response before the Malta or the India meeting. Hence, there's still quite some updates that needs to be done based on RAN response.
So what does it mean for China meeting?
So after the Malta meeting in April, RAN 3 has sent an LS response answering our questions. So the idea for the next meetings is to now align the text with this response from RAN 3 and hopefully continue the normative work.
So it seems like we have still work to do then.
Yes, indeed. So moving on to the main topic for this episode, like I mentioned, the 6G study. So the 6G study has finally gathered full steam and it's going on full-fledged since the February meeting. Before we go into the individual topics of 6G, could you provide some updates on the status of 6G so far, and as a rapporteur, what is your feeling?
Okay, so 6G it's now in a very aggressive stage. So the things are going very fast, and there are in the last couple of meetings around 600 TDOC submitted for the whole only for 6G, which implies that there are a lot of interest from the multiple companies. And of course, still there are too many diverse views, so require some more time to digest a bit. From the next meeting onwards, we'll go into more technical details. So far, we agreed all the solution variants types for the each key issues. Now is the stage to look into more detailed aspects, and hopefully we'll converge in the next couple of meetings.
That's interesting. And also, it's good to know that there's wide interest in 6G and there's a lot of interesting things happening. So maybe now it would be interesting for our viewers if we throw some light on some specific topics from the 6G study.
Okay, so as is known, AI is one of the hot topic in 6G, and the 6G AI has two key issues, key issue 18 and 19. 18 is for AI for network and network for AI. In the last two meetings, SA2 has some good progress on these two key issues, but as different speed. For key issue 19 is less controversial compared to key issue 18. Companies could agree on the main solution variants in Goa. Then more solution principles and were captured in Malta. One hot topic in the key issue 19 is the UE agent, where companies agreed the principles such as UE AI agent authentication, authorization, registration, discovery, and communication are going to be supported by the GCN. And another controversy aspect is handling on air traffic in key issue 19. SA2 is mainly waiting from input from the RAN and as well as the SA4 on characteristics of air traffic to resolve the main issues.
Interesting. So, how about the topic of AI for network, which I believe is key issue 18?
Yes, indeed. So, key issue 18 is one of the main key issue on the AI topic, as well as it's a big interest from the 6G overall study, which we can see the number of input contributions, which is more than around 100 contributions submitted only just for key issue 18, which shows the interest as well as the complexity and the diverse views on this topic, which could also imply that it's getting progress is a bit slow compared to other key issues, which is obviously normal. Due to quite diverse views among companies, and SA2 could not agree solution variant in February Goa meeting. However, we made a good progress in April, so finally we have 22 solution variants for the key issue 18.
That's good to know. So we at least have the various solution variants agreed. And I must say 22 is quite a lot of variants. So any controversial issues?
Yeah, of course. Even in these key issues, AI agent is one of the hottest topic, and across all other terms, but this key issue 18 is the main key issue which define what is the AI agent. Different companies, of course, different companies have different views. Some set of companies aiming to have introduced AI agent in each part of the network function and multiple agents in the core network. And the other set of the companies are more running AI agent on top of the existing core network or 5G core or 6G core is an evolutionary way. So it's a bit of a tricky situation, so hopefully we'll converge in coming meeting to find some way forward. But AI is not only the topic in 6G, of course, it's one of the hot topic. So Sushmit, how about sensing?
Yeah, so in case of sensing, it's a bit different compared to other topics. As you're aware, there is still an ongoing study going on for 5G advanced sensing, and there's honestly quite a lot of dependencies with the RAN working groups. So we started the study for 6G sensing one meeting later. So instead of February, we started from the Malta meeting in April. And since the scope of 6G sensing is huge with the various modes and UV as well as GNB based sensing, it was decided that for the first few meetings, the focus would be on bullet 1, which is the general aspects of sensing and architectural framework.
But how about the progress of this bullet?
I would say we have started well and have made some progress. We have agreed on the various solution groups, not variants, because there was quite a lot of disagreements with the proposed variant types. So for now, we have decided to call them solution groups, but we did not have any time to go through high-level principles of the various solutions that were submitted. And hopefully we will start this from the next meeting in May in China. So that's it on sensing. Let's move on to another key topic, 6G computing. So what updates do you have on computing?
Yes, computing is like AI. It's another big interest from across the industries on these computing aspects. Computer has been one of the hot topic as compared in addition to the AI, which received large number of contributions from the various companies, and some operator believes that computing can enable new services, business services for the MNOs. So on the progress point of view, it is in a good stable. I think compared to other key issues, computing is in a good shape, and we categorized different solution variants. And the last two meetings has been a very good progress and more or less stable. The key issue progress is more or less stable. For instance, even we agreed on the key definitions on the compute side and service hosting enabler and the SHE, which will be agreed. And for the next China meeting, the more details, as I said, the next China meeting will be more spent on the more technical details of the each solution variant and more look into deep dive into the procedures, and hopefully at present we have too many variants, so somehow we need to converge from different variants. Hopefully we'll get some convergence. For computing, let's move on to another topic, Sushmit. So how about interworking?
Yes, interworking is another key topic because, as you know, every time we start a new generation, we need to take care of interworking of the new generation with the previous generations. Unfortunately, in the India meeting in February, we could not make much progress because of a lot of disagreements. For example, the need of EPS-based interworking, EPS interworking was challenged by quite a few vendors, and also several companies challenged the need for dual registration-based interworking. So at the end, we could not reach a consensus, and the same debates ended up continuing also in the Malta meeting. But the good news is that eventually a summary table was agreed with the various solution variants and with some high level definitions of each of the variant types. It looks like the main variant now is the single registration mode between 5GS and 6GS with some subvariants. For example, whether the 5G and 6G AMFs or the 5G and 6G SMFs are combined together or they are not. So that's the current status in interworking. Unfortunately, it won't be possible for us to cover all the other topics from 6G because honestly, there are just too many topics in 6G study. But we invite our viewers to take a look at the specification 23.801-01 for the current status and the various solutions that are being discussed for each and every topic in 6G. So let's move on now from the SA2 meetings to the SA Plenary meeting that took place in March. So Malla, what updates do you have on the plenary meeting?
Okay, so the plenary, especially on the RAN plenary, the RAN level, we have a RAN 6G study about the 6G scenarios and requirement. And they made a good progress. The study is almost completed 90%, which are close to completion. That is a main aspect. Another aspect about migration options is very important to consideration. So the RAN plenary has discussed migration options, and they have a checkpoint to decide what are the migration options will be defined in the 6G by September. So in addition to the MRSS, there are options being considered. For instance, the 6G RAN node as an anchor and the 5G RAN node as an anchor. Aggregation is not in the RAN. So these are the options they are considering as part of migration options. We will see in coming next plenary after or by September, they will finalize what are the migration options will be defined in 6G. In addition to that, there is a bit of on this AI traffic characteristics. We need to understand what are the traffic characteristics of the AI compared to normal EMBB traffic characteristics. So for that, there is a debate whether which will be defined as part of the SA2 or SA4. So RAN. So in the end, the plenary is given guidance saying that okay, SA2 should wait, and the SA4 will continue to do analysis on this AI traffic characteristics until June. So the action point that the SA4 will be defined and conclude. Hopefully, they will bring back what is the AI characteristics by June. Based on that, SA2 will continue the work.
Thanks for that quick update, Malla. So folks, as you heard, the 6G study and 6G work is gathering full steam, and the various solutions for 6G are slowly but surely taking shape. So with that, we would like to conclude today's episode. Hope it was informative. We will come back with updates of the future meetings in our next episode. So please stay tuned. Thank you and goodbye.